All right, hey, what's up, everybody? It's me, Mike Lindsley, back with you for 9 minutes with Mike Lindsley, all over IGTV, Facebook, and on YouTube. Be sure to hit me on Twitter at Mike L Sports, and of course, Mike L Sports 1979 on Instagram. And you can, of course, download and subscribe to my podcast. It's called the ML Sports Platter, all over the major platforms. Huge announcement coming up next Monday as well with the platform. You can get it on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Deezer, the Podbean app, YouTube, and Tumblr, and anywhere else you get your podcasts. We got a ton of amazing guests for the rest of this week and next week. Just a couple days ago, I had former Bills center Eric Wood on the program. You're going to want to check that out as well. So really appreciate the support. Also, a huge tip of the cap to my best buddy's wife, Jessica Walczyk, doing an unbelievable job with those new graphics. You've seen them all over social media. Also, Kristen Tryon, who put together some amazing graphics for me, post-caricature drawn, did those. So now the platform is off and running, and as I've said a million times, a media platform is only as good as the look of it. So thanks to those two talented ladies for helping me out. I want to talk a little bit more on the expanded side of things with Major League Baseball, which out of all of the major pro leagues right now, they look terrible. I mean, this is an ugly look for Rob Manfred. It's an ugly look for the owners and for the players. I'm just going to kind of go through a laundry list of stuff that I want to get to. I mean, first things first, you know, everybody wants to kind of pinpoint and blame a side, right? That's the easiest thing to do when sides are trying to negotiate on something like labor, peace, CBAs, all that kind of stuff. This is totally different because we're coming out of a pandemic. The two sides are trying to figure out exactly, how they're going to play, where they're going to play, how many games, what the money structure is, and all the rest. What the safety of the players first and foremost is. The immediate thing is, let's blame somebody. Who can we blame and whose side can we take? Because that's exactly what our society does right now in general with everything else. People do it when they're married or when they see a marriage. People do it when people do it in politics. I mean, look at what COVID has done to kind of, I don't even think we're coming together as much as we're going apart. Look at social media. Everybody wants to take a side. And right now, if I had to take a side, I'd pick the players. I would say that the players are the ones who are doing it right, more right than the owners. I would blame the owners more because they're literally not showing as much, although the last couple of days we've seen more money and more information come out that makes them look terrible. In fact, look at the Oakland A's and their ownership group right now. They're worth $2+ billion, and they're not willing to pay minor league players $400 a week. Think about that if you're a minor league player with a wife and 2 kids. What does $400 a week really do for you? What in the world does, $1,600 a month do for you when you consider rent or mortgage, food, kids, this, that, and the other thing, gas, car payments, whatever the heck else, phone payments, you know the deal, you know what you have to pay for. It does nothing for someone in their adult life. That's a bad look for baseball right there. But the owners, they want to get back for one reason and one reason only. They don't care about you, the fan, in general. They don't care about the players in general. They want to put the money right back in their pockets. That's the number one reason why they want to get baseball going with at least an 81-game schedule. The players, however, while I take their side if I had to split hairs, I also blame the players in addition too. Why? Because look at the average salary for a Major League Baseball player. Think of it this way. They're taking percentages out of their contracts, obviously, because these players aren't going to play a full season. It's not an 162-game season. So if you're Mike Trout, sorry, you're not going to make $38 million this year, or $40 million. If you're Garrett Cole, sorry, you're not going to make well over north of $30 million. If you're an average player making the league minimum, sorry, you're not going to make a couple of $1 million this year. You're going to make a very, very, very small amount compared to those big numbers. But don't you think for the likelihood of baseball coming back, maybe a July 4th start date, even an all-star game start in early August, and we put the season into mid to late October into early November, don't you think it's even for a Mike Trout? I mean, look, 2020, I'm using him because he's the poster boy for the league. He makes 40-ish million, 35 to 40 million-ish a year, depending on what the numbers look like for his recent contract of $400 million. You make about $6-7 million this year for only playing 81 games or maybe even a little bit less. Okay, now I get it. If you're Mike Trout, you're looking at your money, you're going, that's ridiculous. I'm making about, a sixth of what I would make, a seventh of what I would make normally. Too bad. Can't he live off of $6-7 million just for this 1 year where we're in a global pandemic coming back and giving people a lot of things to work with? He still has all of his endorsements. He still has all of his previous money, and you're not going to really get hit that hard by 1 year of making $6-7 million a year. Think of it this way as well. You and me were regular guys and gals. If we lost a full year of a salary and we worked our tail off for 2 or 3 years, chances are it would be really, really hard, but we'd probably bounce back. Most people watching this video, you've lost at least one job. I know you have. I've lost multiple jobs, and I've bounced back every single time. 7 years ago in Albany, I worked 15 years, grinded to get my ultimate job, lost it in 6 months, and everything was gone. Actually, it wasn't even 6 months. It was like, 3 or 4 months. Everything was gone just like that before I was going to become the drive time host and face of the station. I rebounded. Then you get back into a really, really tough grind, a tough sales world. You lose a couple things here and there. You lose big accounts. You bounce back. If you work hard enough and you have enough in here, you'll bounce back eventually. You have all bounced back. Everybody watching this video right now, I know you've gone through professional adversity. I know it because I know most of you. And if I don't know most of you, well, I know you have too, because that's life. These guys are being put into an adversarial situation, but they're still going to make, in some cases for an average ball player, you're going to still make well north of $100,000. And look, if you don't have to play playoff games, you can live off of that for July, August, September, October, November, December. Your annual then kicks right back in, assuming that we have a normal baseball season and everybody is fighting tooth and nail for the CBA, hopefully to get done as well. That's a whole other issue. And owners and players maybe are starting the headbutting right now because of the labor issues that they've got coming up in the future. If they can't get this figured out, I don't know what else to say about it. When you think about Major League Baseball right now, they can't get this figured out. This is the ultimate black mark, in my opinion, in the history of the game. It's going to be worse than the Black Sox scandal in 1919. It's going to be worse than the 1994 strike. Most baseball purist fans, etc., they come back no matter what. But as I was told yesterday by Jay Berman, the longtime sports anchor and media man, he used to work at CBS Sports Radio, just got furloughed, hoping that Jay comes back strong, by the way. He said, look, baseball and sports, these owners, they're looking for the fringe fan, and he couldn't be more right. Think about Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, and of course, Tiger Woods and Phil Mickelson competing the other day. 6.5 million or so people watch that, but a lot of those people are fringe golf fans. They're just sports fans in general. They bet. They love sports, but they're fringe. Maybe a lot of them are fringe golf fans. They're not going to flip on normally and watch the Colonial, but this year they are because we haven't had a lot of sports. People like to take a taste of that delicious pizza and see if they come back for more. Even if they're not a pizza connoisseur, they're going to try the pizza thing. They're a fringe pizza eater. Baseball, they're a fringe sports gatherer. They want those people to come in. They want people in spurts, of course. Well, look, we came back from 1994. We came back from the steroids. We've come back from pretty much everything in baseball, but I'm not sure a lot of the fringe fans are going to come back from this. This is a global pandemic, and you have millionaires fighting with billionaires coming back from something that came out of the thin blue air and literally has shut us down for between 8, 9, and maybe 12 to 15 weeks as well. States are getting back into phases. Some people are reopening. Things are looking good. People under the age of 24 seem to not really be affected by this thing. It's obviously affecting the elderly a lot more, and we send thoughts and prayers to everybody in that world as well. But my God, Major League Baseball, figure this shit out. Millionaires fighting with billionaires, split the revenue. I don't care what you do. Figure it out. You have a chance right now to bring a lot of happiness to people post-COVID. I'm Mike Lindsley.